Delaware is experiencing a job market like we have never seen before. Employers are struggling to find talent. We need all hands on deck. The Delaware State Chamber of Commerce is your partner as we work to move Delaware's workforce from where it is today to where it needs to be. We're uniquely positioned to bring people together to solve problems, create jobs, and promote business. Join us as we work together to improve the quality of life for all Delawareans.
All over the world, farmers are faced with an unreasonable challenge. Do more with less. Grow more food for more people, more sustainably. On less land, with less water, with less predictable weather. Sounds impossible, right? Actually, it's not. Corteva AgriScience helps farmers push what's possible. Built on 200 years of expertise, Corteva is the company farmers turn to see more, to know more, and to do more, with less.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem performed by Catherine Page. Kat is a United States Navy Persian Gulf veteran and is now employed by J.P. Morgan Chase.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening. Shh. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. I'm Mike Quaranta, and I'm president of the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the 185th annual dinner. It's been 2.5 very long years. It is great to see everybody. Thank you. Let's also welcome our friends who are joining us virtually tonight. We've got a number of people who are joining us virtually. Look, we have work to do. We've got some very significant issues before us, and probably the most significant issue before us is workforce. Everybody is facing the need for talent. We need more people. Our parent organization, the United States Chamber of Commerce, back on February 7th, released some very sobering statistics. 11.3 million job vacancies in this country, 6.3 million people unemployed. Translation, you could take everybody off the unemployment rolls and you would still have 5 million vacant jobs in this country. We need everybody, and so we have our to-dos. To our federal delegation, some who will be joining us later, we need to solve immigration and our immigration issues now. We need to think about our seniors. It's projected that around 10,000 baby boomers, of which I'm one, will reach retirement age of 65 every single day through 2029. Wrap your head around that. 10,000 people a day between now and 2029 reach the age of 65. Now, most of them, if they can, won't want to work, and they certainly won't want to work full time. But maybe it's time that we contemplate the income requirements for our Social Security recipients in this country. There are a lot of people who are seniors who've got a wealth of talent, incredible careers, incredible experience, a list of contacts. I used to say Rolodex, and then my 3 kids stared at me one day. I'm like, what the hell is a Rolodex? But a list of contacts that would be incredible for any business, maybe on a part-time basis, maybe for 5, 10, 15 hours. For our state leaders, and many of you are here tonight, and we're grateful for you being here. We've got a new conversation that's already started about workforce training and development in Delaware. And we need everyone engaged in this discussion. There should be no higher priority than talent. Business and manufacturing cycles are accelerating at record speed. Technology innovation is pushing us every day, daily. Discoveries from halfway around the world, because of modern communications, are here and talked about in boardrooms later that same day. We need all hands on deck. Training our kids is incredibly important. I know we have a lot of people here from different schools, and there's so much that you're doing and so much more we have to do. And I let all of us applaud all of our teachers. It's been a heck of a tough couple of years. But we all need to focus on a couple of important data points. 3% of our workforce exits a high school, community college, or university every year, 3%. 97% of the workers needed by employers are already in the workforce. So we need to put our eyes on the 30-year-old that left Newark High School 12 years ago and get him or her a new or updated credentials for the jobs that are here today and the jobs that are going to be here tomorrow. We need to do similarly for that 40-year-old from Laurel, or the kid, now an adult, from the city of Wilmington that maybe never even had a fair shot. We need to help every single one of them. The challengers, thank you. The challenges workers face are many. How do we transport people? How do we get people to work? How do we get them to training? That's an issue. How do we get them connected to broadband? The governor's going to talk about that in a minute, and he and his team have made great strides with broadband. And that's a huge help, getting people connected and businesses connected around the state. Female participation in the workforce is at a decade's low. It's not a number we've seen forever. And the State Chamber and Rodell partnered with the Philadelphia Federal Reserve Bank, and they're releasing important work tomorrow on child care and child care deficits. Companies who are competitors need to band together, coordinate a greater number of training and development programs, A lot of that happens today, but not nearly enough as it needs to be, and the pace and the accelerated rhythm are necessary to get us from where we are to where we want to be. I applaud the governor for addressing broadband and his dedication to workforce training. Together we have much, much more to do. The governor, Kurt, and the Delaware Prosperity Partnership have done a laudable job bringing businesses to Delaware, and that's important work. But equally important is solving the job and workforce needs of the businesses that are already here that need to expand, want to expand, and grow. For our part, we're refreshing all sorts of programs through our affiliate, the Partnership, which fosters private sector involvement in education, workforce, and development, and to ensure our state has a sustainable pipeline of talent. Helena Rodriguez from our staff runs the Partnership. We've got 4 flagship programs. Delaware Principal for a Day strategically matches business leaders and educators to better structure partnerships that prepare our students for careers in Delaware. Superstars in Education and Training celebrates those independent training providers, high schools, or college programs that are doing innovative work to skill the workforce of tomorrow. Intern Delaware, an add-on to your company's internship program designed to help interns understand the unique aspects of Delaware's economy and culture. If your company doesn't have an internship program, we highly encourage you to get one. We'll help you set it up, and then your interns can participate from other employers and learn more about the state, learn more about the culture. We're in a fight for talent with DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York. We want people to come here, stay here, because once they get here, they'll probably stay. Intern Delaware. And finally, the Delaware Young Professionals Network, or DYPN. Here's a landing spot for young emerging leaders to gather, network, build skills, socialize with their peers and senior business leaders as well. We've been focused on workforce issues since I joined the Chamber back in 2018, and we've got a lot of work to do. Our members have a seat at the table, and when it comes to addressing these challenges that hit every industry sector, every business, in every size, in every corner of the state, it matters to them all. Speaking of the board, let me thank our DSCC Board of Directors and our Board of Governors. Your work is appreciated. Where are they? Everyone could stand up, please. Our Board of Directors and our Board of Governors, if you could all just take a stand. Let's recognize them for all their work. We have a few past chairs in the audience. Katie Wilkinson, Chip Rossi, and Mark Stellini. If the 3 of you could please stand and be recognized. And thank you for your leadership. I'd also like to recognize this year's annual dinner planning committee. This work starts in June. This event, as most people know, was supposed to be early in January. Circumstances suggested that would be a very, very bad idea. Risky is good, reckless is stupid, so we weren't going to be reckless. So here we are tonight. But they've had their hands full, and I think we all owe them a debt of gratitude. So please join me in thanking our dinner committee for all their efforts. I want to give special recognition to Chris Manning. Chris has been serving on our annual dinner committee since 2015, and he's chaired it twice, including this year. Chris, thank you for your leadership. If you could stand and be recognized. Thank you, Chris. And I couldn't do it without a team of people around me, so for all of the staff at the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce, my heartfelt gratitude for all their hard work, hours of dedication. They worked through the weekend to make all this happen, so please join me in thanking the staff. Certainly we wouldn't be here without the generosity of our sponsors, so let's reward, and recognize our sponsors. FMC Corporation is tonight's presenting sponsor. And we look forward to hearing from Dr. Shelton and her presentation later in the evening. Thank you to our reception level sponsors. They are the Chemours Company, Corteva Agriscience, and DuPont. Our chairman sponsors are Adhesius, AstraZeneca, AT&T, Bank of America, Barclays, Christiana Care, Comcast. Kevin Broadhurst, thank you for all the folks that put our videos together. Fulton Bank, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield Delaware, M&T Bank, Nemours Children's Health, Orsted, and Sallie Mae. Our leadership sponsors tonight are J.P. Morgan Chase & Company, Labware, and Morris Nichols, Arsht and Tunnel. Thank you. Ambassador sponsors include Artesian Water, BB Healthcare, Citizens Bank, Insight, PNC Bank, Shell Brothers, University of Delaware, and Wilmington University. Thank you. Our advocate level sponsors, we have 33 of them. AAA Mid-Atlantic, Aris Delaware, thank you for providing the purifiers that help clean the air in our surfaces in this room tonight. All right, a little clap, there we go. There you go. AmeriHealth Caritas Delaware, Associates International, who printed our programs, Barnes & Thornburg, Bay Health, the Piccini Pollen Group, Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney, Chesapeake Utilities, Christiana Mall, C.R. Meyer & Sons, Delaware State University, Delmarva Corrugated Packaging, Fagery Drinker, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Pittsburgh, Invista, the Kenny Family Foundation, Keeney Company, M. Davis & Sons, Mount Air Farms, Novo Nordisk, Penrose, Potter Anderson and Caroon, Richards, Leighton and Finger, Sun Behavioral Delaware, Tidal Health, United Concordia Dental, Verdantis, Verizon Delaware, We Work for Health Delaware, Wilmington Airport, and Wisvis Bank. Let's give them all a round of applause, please. We often say that small business is the backbone of our state's economy, and we'd like to recognize the 29 small business leaders that have sponsored our annual dinner. Thank you very much, all of you, for your support. Thank you. We are always honored when members of our congressional delegation can make room in their busy schedules to support the State Chamber and our annual dinner. We'll see them later tonight, but let us recognize Senator Tom Carper and his wife, Martha. I don't think the senator's here, but Martha Carper is. Senator Chris Coons and Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester. Let's take a few minutes now to watch some messages from our congressional delegation.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm still Tom Carper, and it's my privilege to continue to serve Delaware in the United States Senate. Welcome to the 185th annual dinner of the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce. I think I came to the first one, but maybe not. I look forward to this event almost every year because it gives us a chance to reflect on some of the challenges that we face and continue to face as a state and as a nation, and while also celebrating some of the successes that we've achieved together over the past year. And look how far we've come. Since we last gathered at this event, we have vaccinated tens of millions of Americans, young and old, enabled workers to go back to work and and kids to go back to school. We passed legislation to help struggling businesses, large and small, make it through the pandemic. We've enacted the largest bipartisan infrastructure bill in our nation's history. Much of that was written in my committee that I chair, the Environment and Public Works Committee. Nearly a year ago, President Biden invited me to the White House along with 3 other members of my committee that I chair. And he asked us to come and discuss with him, with the Vice President, and with Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation, how Democrats and Republicans might work together to address our nation's infrastructure needs. He said, your committee, my committee, has a reputation well-deserved for being able to work across the aisle, bipartisan legislation. He asked our committee to lead the way by crafting legislation to upgrade our roads, highways, bridges, improve our drinking water, our wastewater systems, and address climate change. And that's exactly what we did. And as the work of the Environment and Public Works Committee laid the foundation on which our historic package would be built, the infrastructure law that the President signed 2 months ago, actually 3 months ago, I think now, will do a lot of good for our country, for our state of Delaware, and for the people who live in Delaware and across America as well. In fact, Delaware is going to receive, I think, something like $1.4 billion over 5 years for surface transportation, including $225 million just for bridges, as well as, I think, $18 million to build electric vehicle charging infrastructure. A lot of people are starting to buy electric vehicles. They need a place to charge them. Delaware will also receive at least $220 million to improve public transportation, at least $100 million to make sure that every Delawarean has access to broadband internet, and last but certainly not least, $355 million to ensure that clean, safe drinking water is a right, not just a dream, but a right in all communities. I want to thank my wingman in the Senate, Chris Coons, and our wingwoman, Congresswoman Lisa Rochester, for their terrific work on this legislation as well. Many of you have heard me say that the role of government is not to create jobs. We don't do that. We create a nurturing environment for job creation and job preservation with partners like the ones who are gathered in and were within the sound of my voice and all over our state. And that's something we're pretty good at in the state of Delaware. And while this is a big win for Delaware, and I think for our country, certainly not the finish line. It's not the finish line. I still travel almost daily to work in our nation's capital, but I'm in our state a lot. Love covering Delaware, all 3 counties, when we're not in session. And as I travel around the state, I hear from all kinds of companies, from businesses large and small. And while the spirits in the first state are a lot higher tonight than they were a year or 2 ago, we still have some work to do to put this pandemic in a rearview mirror and to head off into a bright new future. So rest assured, we're working hard to make sure that our little state continues to punch well above its weight. I'd also like to take this opportunity to those of you who helped support the USS Delaware, which we just celebrated here a few days ago. The submarine, a Virginia-class fast attack nuclear submarine, is the most modern fast attack nuclear submarine in the world. And it's something that we can be very proud of. First ship named after the state of Delaware in over 100 years. The crew, their families, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping to celebrate the first naval vessel named after the first state in a century. So tonight, God willing, our congressional delegation will get to join you at this evening's dinner soon after our work in Washington is over. In the meantime, have a great night and an even better year. Take care. Good luck. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Good evening and welcome to the Delaware State Chamber's 185th Annual Dinner and Award Presentation. I'm always grateful for the work the State Chamber does, and I can't express my appreciation enough for all of your advocacy in Dover and Wilmington. Your leaders in public policy and work tirelessly to bring together necessary partnerships and help strengthen our local economy. As many of you know, for years I've partnered with the Chamber to host one of my favorite events of the year that shares some of our state's best hospitality, the Taste of Delaware. This year, many of us gathered on a bus and traveled the state with multiple stops in Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex counties. We started here in Wilmington and ended up in Dewey at the starboard. For that, I owe a special thanks to Regina Donato, Kelly Bazile, and Helena Rodriguez for working with my staff to make this happen again. Thank you all so much for your partnership, and thank you to Mike Quaranta and the State Chamber Board for your unwavering commitment to supporting Delaware business. Enjoy your evening, and I look forward to continuing our positive work together.
Good evening. I'm Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester, and I'm honored to welcome you to the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce's 185th annual dinner. First, I'd like to acknowledge President Mike Quaranta for his leadership and the team at the Chamber for putting together this event that we look forward to every year. Since 1837, the Delaware State Chamber has been the leading advocate and premier voice for Delaware businesses. And since taking office, I've been sure to listen to that voice and the voices of business owners up and down our state about the challenges and the triumphs. It's no secret that workforce shortages, rising prices, and supply chain instability have put an additional strain on our business community during an already challenging time. That's why in Congress, I've been working with colleagues from both sides of the aisle to secure American supply chains and strengthen our economy through a simple premise. If we can make it in America, we should. And through my work as the founder and co-chair of the Bipartisan Future of Work Caucus, we're aiming to ensure that workers have the skills they need so that employers can fill the jobs they have. I've been proud to do that work with the thoughtful input and considerable expertise of the Chamber and your members. I know that times have been tough, but with record job growth, surging productivity, and transformational investments in our infrastructure, I truly believe we are building a better America. Individuals, families, and communities are coming back stronger because of groups like the Chamber and your membership all throughout Delaware. I can't thank you all enough for your partnership, and I look forward to better and brighter days ahead.
We also welcome the staff from Senator Carper and Senator Coons' office tonight. Heading up our state delegation, we have Governor John Carney and his cabinet with us tonight. Governor, good to see you. Staff members from the Office of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor. We also are honored to have Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall-Long, Attorney General Kathy Jennings, State Treasurer Colleen Davis, and State Auditor Kathy McGinnis. One of the great things about the annual dinner is that it brings together business leaders, elected officials, and state dignitaries. We are glad to have members of the General Assembly with us. Thank you to our state senators. And thank you to our members of the House of Representatives that are here tonight. Local leaders from Newcastle and Kent counties. And welcome to my neighbor from the north, Mayor Mike Przicki, and representatives from the city of Wilmington. Thank you all for being here. We couldn't get much done without some support from the governor, and I'd like to invite Governor John Carney to the stage. The governor's been very supportive of our initiatives. He's taken to heart and showed incredible leadership on the topic of workforce training and development, other initiatives like broadband that I'm sure he'll talk about tonight, recruiting businesses to the state. He's been a great partner, the Honorable John Carney. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Good evening to all of you. It's great to hear from our congressional delegation. They've been incredible partners over the last 2 years of COVID-19. Feels like 10 years for sure. But we thank them for the resources that they've made available to our state to get us through it and as we launch out of it. If there's one thing that marks the passage of time each year here in our state, it's the Chamber dinner. Usually you can set your calendars and your clock by it. But we haven't been here now for 2 years, and it's April not January, but it still conflicts with a big sports event tonight. Good work with that, Mike. In so many ways, for the past 2 years, it's as if time stood still. So being back here tonight is as good a symbol as any that we're beginning to march forward again. This room is full, and it's great to see all of your smiling faces without masks on. I want to start by thanking you for being steady partners during the most unimaginable time for business in our lifetimes. You showed patience and grace as we worked through decisions I still can't believe we had to make. You gave us your advice and helped us keep your employees and customers safe. And I especially want to thank Mike Quaranta, who was incredibly engaged, productive, and thoughtful throughout the past 2 years. Mike, thanks for being such a great partner with all this. Katie, thank you for your leadership. I'm sure you're ready to move it on to Dr. Shelton. The chamber's in good hands, and I know we'll hear from you later. There are a lot of things that happened the past 2 years because of COVID. We don't need a reminder of them tonight, and I certainly don't. What I'm really here to talk about are the things that happened in spite of COVID. A lot of things have happened. Thanks to the leadership of all of you in this room, the Delaware Prosperity Partnership. Where's Kurt Foreman and his table? Is here somewhere. Stand up. Kurt and your table. Becky, I think, is there. They have been busy. Let me, thanks to their leadership, working with the Division of Small Business and members of the General Assembly, here are some of the many things we've accomplished since we were all together last. Led by so many of you, we're starting to make real progress on Ready in 6, which is an initiative to knock down bureaucratic barriers for business who are looking to expand. We established a site readiness fund to make it easier for businesses to find a place to grow and expand here in Delaware. Just last week, the Council on Development Finance approved the first 8 projects for funding. We established a Transportation Infrastructure Investment Fund for the similar purpose. And we're looking forward for more progress in this legislative session. And I should also thank the members of the General Assembly and their leadership for working together with us over the past couple of years. Working with so many of you, the Delaware Prosperity Partnership made 18 separate announcements last year, bringing almost 3,000 new jobs to Delaware and retaining nearly 1,000 more. Here's the list. Advantage Building Supply in Wilmington, Eastern Highway Specialist in Wilmington, New Acme in Delaware City, Old Dominion Freight Lines in Bear, National Trucking Distribution Center, Thrupoor in Newark, Wovo in Newark, SAPAX in Newark, Advanced Materials Technology in North Wilmington, Wu Shi STA Pharmaceuticals in Middletown, a $500 million investment there, Miller Metals in Sussex County, Seaman Healthineers in Newark, Goldman Sachs in Wilmington, Hologic in Newark, Investor Cash Management in Wilmington, B&M Meats in Wilmington, Analytical Biological Services in Newcastle, Prelude Therapeutics relocating to Chestnut Run outside of Wilmington. That is impressive years worth of work. And all these companies either brought new jobs to Delaware last year or decided to keep jobs here instead of moving them out of state. And this is just the DPP scorecard. It doesn't include the thousands of jobs created by one company, Amazon, in facilities all over our state, from Seaford to Boxwood Road to Newcastle. The point of all this is that the idea that the Chamber and the Round Table and so many of you brought to me 6 years ago, what became the Delaware Prosperity Partnership, is working. Kurt Foreman, Becky Harrington and their team, and Rod Ward. Where's Rod Ward? My co-chair on the board. I hope he's here. They deserve enormous credit for this successful partnership. Lieutenant Governor Hull Long and I started our day today at a ribbon cutting at the expanded Insight facility off of Augustine Cutoff. It's amazing, and what a great Delaware story. Over the last 20 years, Insight has grown from a promising startup to a significant employer, achieving breakthroughs in cancer research and cancer therapies. The 300 scientists will move into this building, and researchers working in these new Insight labs are supporting President Biden's cancer moonshot and joining Christiana Care and the Delaware Cancer Consortium and so many others in making Delaware a leader in the fight against cancer. Later in the day, we joined some of my friends from the General Assembly for a tour of the 600,000 square foot Amazon facility at Boxwood Road with 3.5 million square feet of operational space in that 6-floor facility. 17 football fields in size. I know what a football field is. It's a long way from one end to the other. About 3,000 employees work side by side with robotic equipment. Amazon is looking to grow their team there to 5,000 employees, which will take their total state employment near 10,000. I'm Irish, so one of the ways I've been starting my day during the pandemic is by reading the Irish sports page, the obituaries. One thing that I'm struck by as I read them is how many engineers and chemists and scientists and other highly educated individuals moved to Delaware to come to work for the DuPont Company over the last half century. Being a magnet for talented workers was key to our state then, and it will continue to be a key as we move forward in this innovation economy. And you've heard all the statistics from Mike. That's why our investments with research partnerships at the University of Delaware, the president is here, Delaware State University, and federal agencies like NIH and NSF are so crucial. Bringing a pharmaceutical manufacturing company like WuXi STA Pharmaceuticals to Middletown happened in part due to one of these partnerships and because of the workforce and research expertise at the University of Delaware. It's why it's so important that we continue to support the innovation space at the experimental station. I know Bill Provine is here, and the development of the STAR campus, and that we implement the science and innovation plan put together by Pat Callahan, a DPP board member, and his advisory board. They did great work. To give innovative small businesses the ability to grow, we started the EDGE grant program, and we created the graduation lab space program so that science and tech companies can keep expanding here in Delaware. I've been doing this in public service now for over 30 years. Never would I have believed that after a pandemic and a recession, I'd be standing here in front of you today where we have more jobs than we have workers to fill them. It's a good problem to have, but it's a big problem nonetheless. And I know that I've heard from this challenge from just about everybody in the room how it's affecting your individual business. It's why we're investing $50 million of the federal stimulus funds towards workforce development programs like Forward Delaware. It's why we're expanding the Pathways programs in public middle schools and high schools statewide, By next year, the Pathways program will reach more than 6,000 middle school students and 80% of high school students. And I want to thank all the employers in the room for being part of that Pathway program. I haven't seen Mark Brainerd, but I would imagine he's here tonight, and I want to thank him and Delaware Tech for continuing to respond to the needs of the employers across our state. He and his team are doing just an outstanding job. Their ability to adapt to workforce demands will be critically important as we move into the future. Many of us gathered over the weekend at the Port of Wilmington to celebrate the commissioning of the USS Delaware, a Virginia-class submarine and the first naval vessel, as Senator Carper said, named after our state in a century. The credit for making this happen simply goes to Senator Carper. I was worried, Martha, that he was going to leave town when the submarine left as well, but he didn't, thank God. I was reminded as I took a tour through the submarine, 2 tours, I might add, of what a critical role science and innovation plays in our country's national defense and our economy. I was also struck by the highly trained and educated crew who are living and working on the USS Delaware. A talented, creative, trained workforce is important, not only to maintaining our economic and industrial advantage, but to maintaining our military advantage as well. And think about how important that is in the world we live in today. Just as it takes a team to operate a nuclear submarine, the team we formed with all of you, formally through the DPP, the Prosperity Partnership, and informally through working together, is what is helping drive economic growth in our state. Despite all the challenges of the past 2 years, working together, we've made a remarkable strides in shaping our state's economy towards one that's built for the future. Thank you, all of you, for your partnership as we build on this work in the coming year, so that companies like yours, all of yours, can continue to grow and thrive right here in our great state of Delaware. And congratulations to the Marvel Cup winner.
Governor, thank you for that. As we turn our attention to workforce training and development, we need more people in the trades, IT, manufacturing, healthcare. Let me say and ask all of you and invite all of you also, we recognized our teachers, but also let's recognize all of our healthcare workers for the job they did for the last 2 very long years. Governor alluded to the Marvel Cup. Marvel Cup was established in 1951 to honor a Delawarean who's made an outstanding contribution to the state, community, or society. State Chamber's highest honor is named in the memory of the Honorable Josiah Marvell. We're lucky to have a past recipient with us tonight. I always knew him as Congressman. You knew him as Governor long before I did. Congressman Mike Castle, please stand to be recognized. Now, last year, our recipient was General Frank Vavala. And since we held our event virtually, we wanted to give him an opportunity to address you and have his Marvel Cup moment here on the stage, but because our dinner was rescheduled to tonight, General Vavala was unable to be with us. Now, within months of retiring, as he did, from the Delaware National Guard, after 50 years of service, Frank joined Delaware Tech, and he joined that team as a student veteran advocate. Frank asked that Delaware Tech President Mark Brainerd read a letter to all of you. So, Mark, if you could join me for a moment. Thank you. This is Mark Brainerd.
Good evening. First of all, thank you, Governor. It is my honor to read this letter from our good friend, the General, from last year. Dear Mr. President and members of the Selection Board, please accept my deepest gratitude for selecting me to receive the 2021 Hosea Marvel Cup. Never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought that I would be the recipient of this most prestigious and coveted award. It is without question a singular honor of the highest magnitude, and I am humbled beyond words. When I recall the previous recipients, to include the President and the First Lady of the United States, it becomes even more surreal. I am not worthy, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving this native son of Delaware the highlight of his life. May our Delaware continue to be the first among many in every aspect of life. Very respectfully, Frank Vavala, Major General, USA, retired. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mark. General Barry, if you're here somewhere, you stand and be recognized. Where's General Barry? Somewhere over here? There you go. Thank you for all the members of the Delaware National Guard. Thank you for sharing Frank with us. Okay, let's go to this year's Marvel Cup recipient.
I would describe this person as a connector of people, a connector of organizations, a connector of community, and has been really focused on bettering the whole community through their work with both the business community as well as the not-for-profit community across Delaware.
Everything I've seen and witnessed has all been in his retirement years, and he gives and contributes like few others. Incredibly effective, compassionate, interesting. How this person finds time to play any golf is shocking.
They've been an extraordinary leader in Delaware, and as a result have impacted the lives of so many Delawareans. I think of the work that they have done with organizations like the Delaware Business Roundtable, the Delaware Community Foundation, Christiana Care, the Rodell Foundation, and the list goes on.
If you would poll the public and you poll the thousands of people that he has helped, directly or indirectly, I would say 80–90% of them don't know this person's name. They wouldn't know him. But that doesn't matter to this person. No ego. This person does it because they believe it's the right thing to do.
This individual is a Delawarean from birth till he leaves this earth. He was born here, raised here, very successful person here.
This recipient is a kind, humble, visionary, energetic leader of business and in the community. They would truly give you the shirt off their back. I believe that's actually happened at some point.
I would describe this person as a change agent. And I would also describe this person as a people's person. That's probably this person's biggest quality, is they care about people.
The way that this person is just committed to always doing for others without worrying about anything in return is what you want to see with a person who has, just such esteem in the state and just so well revered by everyone, including myself.
This person serves as a personal mentor. There's no decision that I make from a career standpoint, from a community impact point, that this person has not been a part of. I look to them for counsel, and I'm sure so do many others.
Well, this individual has contributed greatly to the business community of the state of Delaware, both in terms of finances and serving in elected office and the various steps you would want one to take in order to help the business community?
Very good mind, very caring person. Always wanting to improve and make things better for people and for the community.
Realizing what this award means and the matters that brought the recipient to receive the award, I just give heartiest congratulations. Well deserved.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Fred, on being this year's Marble Cup winner. You are very deserving, and I am sure many people in this audience and in the state of Delaware appreciate the fact that you are receiving this.
Hello, everybody. State Chamber. Great to be with you, but I wish I were there in person. And it's my great honor to congratulate one of my dearest friends all the way back to high school. Fred Sears earning the Chamber's Marble Cup is a big deal. We've known each other for a long, long time. As I said, going back to the days even before the University of Delaware. Fred stood with me for some of the most important moments in my life, the good as well as the bad. And I'm honored to call him a friend. And I'm grateful for all the good you've done for the state we both love so much, Fred. As a leader with vision and integrity in the banking industry, as a public servant, a member of the City Council, helping guide the work of mayors and governors, with the Delaware Community Foundation, lifting up great nonprofits for making real differences in people's lives and families in our state. And of course, your role in helping, and I've realized I'm a little prejudiced on this, your role in helping make the Bo Biden Foundation a reality, and all the work you've done to help carry Bo's legacy forward. Every step of the way, you've led with character, compassion, and generosity of spirit. And you've worn your love of Delaware in your heart. I appreciate you so much, Fred. I know that the Chamber and all Delawareans feel the same way. So I just want to say congratulations. And all my best to Joanne and the family. God bless you all. God bless you, Fred, and the family, and may God protect our troops.
Well, now another wrinkle to rescheduling this event meant that Fred couldn't be here tonight. I know. However, he's watching us through the live stream right now. He's asked his sons, Jason and Graham, to accept the award on his behalf. Gentlemen, will you join me on stage? Where are you? Here they come. So we did have to break with tradition and tell Fred that he was our honoree. He's out in California, and he was unable to make the trip back to Delaware. But he did record a message, so let's take a quick look.
It's so wonderful to know that so many people are at the dinner tonight, just like old times. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there with you tonight. My wife and I, Joanne, are in Southern California on our annual spring break to the Palm Desert area and enjoying some beautiful weather and looking forward to our children and their families and the grandchildren coming out here over their Easter break. I have to say thank you, Mike, and what a surprise. This is just really a true, maybe the biggest surprise of my life to receive this honor, and I am so humbled and almost embarrassed to do it. As maybe they've explained or maybe not, but I've served on the committee, the Marble Cup Selection Committee, and as co-chair of the committee for a number of years, and I know the process. We actually had a meeting back in December where we elected this year's honoree, and I was in the meeting, and the honoree wasn't me. And then I get a call a couple of weeks ago from Mike Uffner and Mike and Kelly from the chamber telling me that we're having problems getting this year's honoree to attend the dinner because of the change of the date. And of course, I chime in right away. I'm never shy. I chime in, oh, I know this guy. I knew it was going to be hard to bring him back from Florida and whatever. And Mike Uffner said, no, Fred, it's you. And talk about just total surprise. It really is an honor. Having served on the committee for so many years, I know at least, and I know the list well of previous winners. I know at least 25 of them, or knew 25 of them. Most of them I considered friends. 4 of them were mentors that helped me do whatever I was able to do for any kind of success in my career. Charlie Robinson and Jack Porter from the Delaware Trust days, Leonard Quill, Jim Gilliam Jr., to name the 4 that have won this award prior to this, ahead of me. Also had other mentors that I certainly can't forget, my good friends Tom Maloney and Don Kirtley, Brian Colburn, who actually gave me my first job at Delaware Trust as a management trainee at $400 a month. Couldn't hardly beat that in those days. Jim Gilliam Sr. and Bernard Hill and Jim Wright were all very significant players in my life. I'm pleased to know that my 2 sons, Jason and Graham, and their families are there tonight to participate in the presentation, and their wives, Jenny and Catherine, and of course my 4 grandchildren are there as well. Kylie and Paxton and Charlie and Ella certainly can't wait to see them out here for Easter. The boys and my wife were also very instrumental in whatever I did in the community and in my job. They gave me total support and were always understanding that I would be out many nights at dinners and events and meetings and not at home spending more time with them. And I thank them very much for that. As I thought about this award, I thought, thinking back through my life and realized that I was probably destined to be in Delaware doing something kind of special for Delaware and making Delaware a better place for people to live and work. I'm a 6th generation member of my mother's family, the White family. They actually had a farm supply store in the Orange and Front and Orange streets back in the 1880s. And then they opened a car dealership, maybe one of the first in 1910, J. Frank White and Henry White, called White Motors. And J. Frank was also a city councilman in 1916, 1918. Unfortunately, they were selling Hudsons and Essex. So I'm not here to say that I've been a longtime competitor of my good friend Mike Uffner and Frank and Jim Urso and Mike and John Hynansky, but that would have been a whole different story, I'm sure. On the Sears side of the family, my grandfather, my namesake, worked for DuPont as a mechanical engineer and was on the design team for the nylon plant in Seaford, and the first nylon plant in Seaford. And my father worked in employee relations at the company, actually headed the employee relations committee for the Chamber of Commerce, my father, Jim Sears, for many years. Combined, they had 80 years service with the DuPont company, all in Wilmington, Delaware. Pretty unusual. Dad was a good provider and certainly made sure I had a good education by sending me to Friends School for high school and then to the U.D. for my undergraduate and graduate degrees. When I got my first job, he told me, gave me a couple points that I still follow today, and followed through my career, whether it was with the bank or banks or with the community foundation, even my 6 years in the Delaware Air National Guard or my 8 years on city council. He said, you're starting your career. One of the things you need to be dependable. Be someone people can count on. If you're going to say you're going to do something, you need not only to do it right, but always look for a way to do a little more. Take the extra step and do better. He also said, and you've got to have respect for everybody you meet. Always show the respect for people you work with, the people, your friends. Take the time to try to understand where they are coming from. He said, you will never, ever succeed if you only look at life through your own lens, so to speak. In closing, let me say, it's a privilege to be here and saying this and accepting this award. It's been a privilege to work with 7 governors, 7 Newcastle County executives, 7 mayors, our current federal delegation, Tom Carper, Chris Coons, and Lisa Rochester. I consider all of them good friends. And having had the opportunity to serve on over 50 boards and commissions and helping raise dollars to help numerous nonprofits throughout the state. It was always an honor and always is an honor when somebody actually calls you and invites you to serve on one of their committees or on their boards. I mean, to think that they actually believe that I have something to offer, value to offer, is pretty special and just makes you feel good about yourself when people actually ask you to help and chip in. Finally, I will say in my retirement years, it's been pretty special. I've been retired now 6 years, but I'm still involved in a number of projects and programs and a few boards and commissions. And what's wonderful about that also is that I get to meet so many more younger people, new people involved in these programs and organizations, people with energy, enthusiasm, and commitment. And that alone gets you really excited about what you're doing in life. And I'm just so happy to be able to do whatever I can. And God willing, I'll be able to keep doing it. Thank you again very much. God bless.
Now, I mentioned that Fred is watching tonight, so at Crack staff we talked about, sent him a bottle of champagne earlier today. So I'd like everyone to raise your glass, take a look at the camera in the back of the room, or back here, I think, and let's all toast Fred. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to say congratulations, or let's just say cheers. 1, 2, 3, cheers! Congratulations, Fred. Okay, it's time for dinner. Please remain seated so the servers can get to you quickly. When we come back, we'll hear from Dr. Kathleen Shelton of FMC. Thank you. We're running a little bit behind, and I want to thank the staff at the Chase Center. Thank you very much, everybody, for Okay. I'm honored to introduce Dr. Shelton tonight. She's the Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer of FMC Corporation. As the global leader of FMC's robust discovery and development pipelines, Dr. Shelton leads an R&D organization of nearly 800 professionals, scientists, and more, located around the world with laboratories in India, Brazil, France, Denmark, and the United States. The largest site is located right here in Newark, Delaware. Ladies and gentlemen, before she takes the stage, let's watch this short video clip and their innovation headquarters at the Stein Research Center. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kathleen Shelton.
Good evening. Well, I am thrilled to be here. The events that led to this evening are the result of a story that started in 2016. Let's remember what was happening in the fall of 2016. The Eagles were on their way to a losing record, like they had the year before. The Sixers were coming off the third worst record in NBA history. Oh, and by the way, people weren't asking how they'd lost 72 games. They were wondering how they had won 10. We got some comfort from a second-year player named Joel Embiid, who told us to trust the process. At the time, I was the head of the R&D organization of DuPont's crop protection business, based at our Stein-Haskell facility in Newark, Delaware. DuPont had announced it was merging with Dow, a company that already had impressive R&D facilities and scientists in Indianapolis. When DuPont announced that the future headquarter location for the combined crop protection business would be Indianapolis, the future for our scientists and our facilities in Delaware looked bleak. Our Stein personnel, including people at the very top of their profession, were worried. With lives in Delaware, would they end up in Iowa? Or Indiana? Or, as sometimes happens, nowhere. Fast forward to today. The Sixers are fun to watch again, and we all know from the Eagles' Jason Kelce what a hungry dog with a desire to win can accomplish. But I'm not here to talk about sports. The point is that a lot can happen in 6 years. You can go from despair to triumph, turn defeat into victory in all a relatively short amount of time. It's not unheard of if you put the right team together and trust the process. This is the story I will share. FMC was a multinational company headquartered in Philadelphia with a strong crop protection sales pipeline and a focused R&D presence. What a fit. FMC saw an opportunity to expand its team and boost the company's bench strength. In March of 2017, FMC announced it would acquire the Crop Protection Research and Development Organization from DuPont, the Stein facility with all its scientists and greenhouses, and large parts of the business portfolio. It turned out that FMC was a hungry dog with the ability to build a winning team. From the very first day we met, our CEO, Mark Douglas, was clear in his intention to showcase the world-class facility in Newark and enhance the capabilities of the team around the world. Delaware was his choice. In November 2017, over 2,000 employees joined FMC from DuPont, with nearly a quarter of them being the scientists in the Research and Development Organization, and most of them living right here. It's been a successful run. The R&D organization has thrived at FMC, and the agricultural industry has benefited from our commitment to innovation. As Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer for FMC, I have the pleasure and honor of leading a team of 800 scientists located around the world, with almost half of them at the Stein Research Center, now FMC's global R&D headquarters. As part of FMC, we have expanded our footprint, invested in our farms and facilities, and continue recruiting and attracting the best and brightest talent, both globally and locally. And by trusting the process, we find ourselves here tonight, standing tall in our accomplishments in this fantastic venue, as a true presence in the state of Delaware. We have assembled what I consider to be the greatest team in the agricultural sciences industry, a team rooted in Delaware, but whose innovations manage to touch the world. When FMC purchased the DuPont assets, FMC knew that having a larger R&D organization would be key to its long-term success. Today, FMC is investing significant resources in discovering active ingredients, the building blocks of products that protect crops from disease and destructive pests. We have an award-winning pipeline of new products that will be launched in countries around the world. I am even more proud of FMC's accomplishments that go beyond our R&D efforts. We were recently named one of America's most sustainable companies by Barron's, and the only agricultural company on the list. Recognized by Newsweek as the most responsible crop protection company in the United States. And FMC earned a third consecutive perfect score on the annual Human Rights Campaign Foundation's Corporate Equality Index. Over the past 4 years, FMC, now the 5th largest agricultural company in the world, has grown 18%. In February of this year, we announced our revenues exceeding $5 billion for the first time ever, as we support growers in over 100 countries. But what makes Delaware not only a great place to live and do business, but the right place for FMC today and in the future? And there's 2 key reasons: the dedication to agriculture and employees focused on STEM education. For a state that may be known more for its presence of companies incorporated here, Delaware has over 2,300 farms that produced $1.5 billion in agricultural sales. Agriculture plays a big part in how people live and work in Delaware. Agriculture and farmers thrive in Delaware because all of you, our state legislators and business community, have supported the same vision and goal to support farmers and farms across the state. Nearly 40% of the state's land is devoted to agricultural production, making it the predominant land use. Corn, soybeans, watermelons, sweet corn, lima beans, and cucumbers are some of the crops that Delaware's agricultural industry provides to people around the world, and Delaware has a vision for maintaining as much of that farmland as possible. The Sussex County Administrator, Todd Lawson, described this accomplishment well. He said, "As someone whose family has been rooted in agriculture for generations, I'm incredibly proud to be part of a collective effort that helps keep our economy strong and ensures a piece of the county's agrarian history remains visible and viable for many years to come." The Delaware Agricultural Land Preservation Program has received recognition from the American Farmland Trust. In 2020, it was ranked the 2nd most effective program in the United States. As the world population continues to grow with demand for food, protein, and feed rising annually, farmers must produce more crops from less land. Technology and agricultural practices must address these challenges together. Because every region, every country, every farm has a unique set of challenges, but a common goal: to earn the highest value from the land they farm. We know and study those challenges because that's what we do at FMC. We invent technology to solve agricultural challenges, bringing those solutions to farmers around the world. Just like a farmer must be in the field to accomplish the core of their work, FMC scientists spend much of their time in labs and greenhouses. At Stein, we create, discover, and test molecules the world has never seen before, creating new solutions for farmers. And as part of FMC's sustainability goals, we have committed that 100% of our R&D is focused on discovering and developing more sustainable products than those on the market today. Well, what do we do to find new products and solve problems? We start by testing more than 60,000 compounds every year in our greenhouses to find the best molecules to control destructive pests. That breaks down to nearly 7 compounds tested every hour for an entire year. What we find in that screening process will take over 10 years of effort by our scientists to bring that molecule, that new product, to farmers. That's a lengthy investment. A molecule discovered today will not hit the market until 2032. Discovering a new molecule doesn't happen by chance. It is a creative process. It begins with someone having an idea and imagining a product that does not yet exist. It takes a diverse team of scientists such as biologists, chemists, weed scientists, entomologists, plant pathologists, and molecular biologists working in collaboration. Xyway, liquid fertilizer-ready fungicide, is an example of one of those products developed and tested at Stein. FMC introduced it to farmers in Delaware and other states in the United States in 2021. Xyway fungicide helps farmers protect their corn crop from a disease called gray leaf spot, one of the most common foliar diseases in Delaware corn that can significantly reduce corn yields. One of the innovative aspects of Xyway is how it's applied. Farmers apply it in the ground when they plant their corn seeds. And this application is unique and beneficial because the fungicide cannot migrate off or be washed off the plant into surrounding areas. Interesting to note, the water glass on your table holds about as much Xyway as will be applied to an acre of land. In other words, it is extremely effective in small quantities. Before we launched Xyway, we tested it on our farm at Stein to repeat and replicate the results to ensure that farmers would see a benefit from this product. Scientists, like farmers, are problem solvers. They are creative and conscientious, passionate and purposeful, imaginative and inventive. The scientific community in Delaware is another key reason Delaware is the right place for FMC. The most impressive aspect of our research and development is the people behind it, the employees who work at Stein to ensure FMC delivers on its promise to growers. I wouldn't be here tonight without the hard work and dedication of my team. I want you to hear from them directly. Obviously, I couldn't bring everybody up on stage with me, so late last year, we asked 10 of our brilliant FMC scientists to answer a few questions on an off-the-cuff interview. No scripting, no notes, just a conversation. And here's what they had to say about working at Stein.
At Stein, we make magic. And when I say we make magic, it's because we create molecules that have never been created anywhere on Earth.
Stein is one of those hidden gems that you probably don't even know it's here. The amount of brain power and development that's here and that's going on here is really quite unique. This is a really great place to be a chemist. This area is pretty remarkable what you can do with a science degree. And a lot of that is the way our state and our government embraces technology companies.
Right from the start here, the thing that's most exciting me about the work is very much the ideation process. There's a lot of creativity involved, and we all have very different backgrounds. And that's pretty important for coming up with new ideas, right, and driving forward the innovative culture that's here. And so I think it's pretty important that we have people from all across the world here with a wide range of skills.
When you're dealing with some sort of research that you're seeing it for the first time, to be able to look at that problem and kind of try to think your way around it and try to figure out what's going on, I think that makes it really kind of interesting.
As a biochemist, a lot of what I do is taking complex biological systems and kind of breaking them down into their component parts and being able to do reaction in a test tube. know this property of this molecule or see this particular piece of data, and that's a pretty neat feeling when you're kind of on the cusp of discovery like that.
As a scientist, the beauty of what I do here is identify ways to improve our processes, so improve our screens. Some of what we do involves examining how we can reduce waste, how we can recycle products, how we can minimize our ecological or environmental footprint, and I enjoy the process of learning. So having to work with a diverse group of people with different expertise, different training, for me, it's just really enjoyable.
For me, just being a scientist, one of the things I always enjoyed the most was the problem-solving aspect. And something about chemistry that's really sparked me and that got me really excited in the first place was just the ability to create new things.
We make great discoveries here, and we are the only one team, or maybe only one person that has that knowledge. And we committed to use that knowledge wisely. Our motto is be yourself, see yourself at FMC. And this is very important that everyone who comes working here can be themselves.
Delaware is the first state, the small wonder. I love the community. One of the great benefits of working for FMC is their core values of diversity and inclusion, and they walk the walk and talk the talk. Or they talk with, I'll say that over again, then I'll be done, right? Is that the next question? Okay, thank you.
Clearly, you can see that Delaware attracts the greatest talent and the most dedicated employees. I'm very, very proud of our diverse workforce. As scientists, our passion isn't limited to helping farmers protect their crops. It's about enticing others into the world of science and technology. We believe that careers in science, technology, engineering, and math are fulfilling and challenging. And it is our hope to share or inspire others to consider these careers. Several years ago, I was a high school chemistry teacher. Aside from learning how hard our teachers work, the experience taught me that STEM education happens in the classroom, but the inspiration to choose a STEM career often needs to come from the outside world. So how can we inspire students outside of the classroom? Well, members of my team taught the science behind emulsification to students at the virtual Catalyzing Change STEM conference. They led a hands-on experiment mixing water and oil to make salad dressing. We build gardens at schools with healthy foods for healthy kids, and mentor and educate and share our personal stories and work experience with scientists and students. We talk about science as a cool thing to do. Our cool, very cool scientists are figuring out how to feed the world. We need young people to see that. I believe that if we can demonstrate that careers in STEM are creative and collaborative, and not someone who's stuck behind a microscope every day, you would have more people interested in those careers. It doesn't matter what you look like or where you come from. With a STEM career, you can create something that never existed before and solve the biggest problems to help others succeed. This is why I believe careers in technology are so fulfilling. Stein and its people are rooted in Delaware and have been for over 70 years. We care deeply about sharing our skills and passions with others in Delaware. From elementary through middle school to high school and the university level, FMC scientists are connected to building and supporting the network of people to support STEM education and careers. Our partnership with Delaware State University, with President Tony Allen and his amazing leadership team, has helped us build a stronger and deeper connection to the students and future of Delaware State. We are excited to support the University of Delaware as the title sponsor for their College of Agriculture and Natural Resources Ag event later this month. We are proud of the fact that we are part of a larger effort across the state of Delaware committed to the future of science and agriculture. Secretary of Agriculture Michael Skews focuses much of his efforts on developing the next generation of agriculture, including Future Farmers of America and agri-science education, 4-H and young and beginning farmers. In 2019, he was awarded a National Future Farmers of America VIP citation for his contributions to the organization. Delaware has always been a place where technology plays a large part in how people work hard to change the world. In the past century, when we think of Delaware's business presence, we think of chemicals, banking, and law. Today, FMC is rooted in Delaware as we innovate to feed the world. FMC is poised to expand how the world thinks of Delaware by adding another badge of excellence to the state's business reputations. The state is still a hub for the brightest minds in chemistry, banking, and law, but now it's where the keenest minds will come to devote their energy and talents to a world-class agricultural sciences innovation. Thank you to the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce for bringing us all together and for all the Chamber has accomplished in 185 years for the state of Delaware. Thank you to Mike, the Board of Directors, and the Board of Governors for the opportunity to represent FMC to the business and legislative leadership of Delaware. And finally, I want to extend my appreciation to Mark Douglas, FMC CEO. From the very first day, you have believed in and supported R&D and the people at Stein. On behalf of FMC, we are proud of our Delaware roots. It is truly an honor to share my story. Thank you. To share my story with the many successful and accomplished guests gathered here tonight. My hope is that you leave here even more proud of Delaware, knowing that the small state is bringing innovation to every corner of the globe.
That was terrific. Kathy, thank you so very much. Mark Douglas, CEO of FMC, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you very much. Thank you for the commitment to the state of Delaware, to all the goodness of the business community, and for the investment, the long-term investment of the people in the state of Delaware. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you to FMC for their sponsorship. Kathy, terrific comments. Greatly appreciate the insights. What happens here can change the world. Thank you, Kathy. Now I have the honor of announcing our A.R. Morris Board Member of the Year. It's a special recognition that was voted on by the Chamber staff and named in honor of Al Morris, who opened A.R. Morris Jewelers in 1960. Our Board Member of the Year, instrumental in the creation of Intern Delaware, which was brought under the State Chamber's umbrella. Last year, he's been a member of our Board of Governors since 2011. He joined our Board of Directors in 2015 and served as our Vice Chair in 2020 and 2021. Please join me in congratulating and recognizing Scott Malfitano of CSC Corporation. Our members from Sussex County have once again donated our door prize for tonight, a weekend of fun and relaxation at the beach. The winner will enjoy a 2-night stay at the Belmore Inn and Spa, a $100 Sodell gift card, a round of golf for 4 at Kings Creek Country Club, and a generous benevolence box from Dogfish Head. I always wonder what a benevolence box from Dogfish Head would look like. I really want to win that. Many of you traditionally know that traditionally at our dinner falls on the same night as the NCAA College Football Championship. Now, we unintentionally, Chase Center worked with us and said, we kept that traditional, but tonight, here we are. Tonight's NCAA men's basketball final is at 9:20. Everybody relax. So all attendees who were registered 2 weeks ago were provided a survey where they could pick who they thought would be in the championship, and everyone who voted for Kansas and UNC were put into a drawing. So congratulations to Doug of Lyons Companies. Please stop by at the registration desk. Let's give Doug a round of applause. All right. I want to also thank I want to thank Katie Wilkinson, who played an active role in guiding the Chamber and the Chamber's mission over the past 2 years. On behalf of the Chamber and its members, we appreciate the time and dedication you have put forth in leading our organization as chair of the Board of Directors. Katie, thank you for your leadership. It's been a privilege to work with you. And on a personal note, I know Katie has never spoken these words. I put this in the magazine, and I'm going to repeat it tonight. She told me it was okay. In 183 years, this organization had never had a female chair of the Board of Directors. Katie was our very first, and there was not an ounce of difference between her leadership and anybody else's. Katie, come on up.
I'll go back to the beginning of the evening when Mike said how wonderful it was to see everybody in person. 1,000 people here tonight. A lot going on. Really, really good to see everybody. It's hard to believe that my term as chair has come to an end. When I stepped into this role in January of 2020, I certainly had no way of anticipating what was about to happen in our community and in our world. However, the State Chamber did not miss a beat. Some of the highest praise we received came from you, our members. One in particular shared that the Chamber has a vision to know what our questions and concerns will be, sometimes before we do, and address these concerns in a timely manner. Your organization has been the light leading the way. The staff at the Chamber, Mike, Kelly, Helena, and others have done amazing work during the last 2 years. Looking back, I am filled with both awe and gratitude. Thank you for the honor to serve all of you in this capacity over the last 2 years. I leave you in the very capable and dedicated hands of my friend and colleague, Nick Lambro, Regional President of M&T Bank. Nick?
Great. Thank you, Katie. I want to say the guidance that you have given, your leadership over the last 2 years has been incredible. It's been a very challenging time. I remember all the morning meetings at 7:30 on WebEx for 2 years. It seemed like 4 sometimes, but we stayed on. And I think your commitment and leadership was so important for the Chamber during that period. So thank you again for your service. I have a couple thank yous and recognition and a call to action. You know, I also want to thank the State Chamber's Board of Directors, Board of Governors for their leadership and guidance. Collectively, they are taking this organization to the next level. I also want to thank my friend Scott Malfitano. Congratulations for a well-deserved Member of the Year, Member of the Year. You brought a lot of energy and creativity to the table, which we all need, and followed. And I also want to thank you for the role that you've taken on, in addition to your day job, of Chairman of the State's Workforce Board. It's such an important time. I know your leadership and creativity are going to be an important part to Delaware's future. And also Fred Sears, congratulations. I'll give Fred a call. It was probably, I don't think that was a virtual background that I saw with the palm trees. I'm still trying to get all that stuff out of my head, but Fred is an amazing person, very well deserved. And Dr. Shelton, thank you for your words tonight. Delaware is lucky to have you and your team and FMC's commitment to being part of our community. But what a great story, and more importantly, what a great mission, not only for Delaware, but for the word. Okay. Perfect timing, Senator. And lastly, I want to thank our federal delegation, the governor, and all our public officials for their commitment to making this state a better place to live and work, not only just for today, but for tomorrow. I think that was all mentioned. That's so important for where we are at this point in time. So let me close by saying, collectively, we have a lot of work to do. Our mission as a state chamber is to bring both communities together, business and government. We see it as our role to ensure that we partner to find long-term solutions so that we continue on the course of being better. We need you and your voice to help shape the future of Delaware. So let's work smarter together. As an example, and as mentioned earlier, we will be reaching out and engaging many of you in the coming months to address and be a part of the state's workforce needs. And I hope you will join us. So have a great night, safe travels home, hopefully your team wins, and what a great night. Great to be here with everybody.
Okay, before we adjourn, a couple of other pieces. I want to again recognize the State Chamber staff. Thanks, everybody. Did a great job. Dr. Shelton, everybody at FMC. Mark, couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to all the sponsors. Greatly appreciated. Before you leave, I want to remind everybody, don't forget to take home your gift bag, which contains your annual dinner glass, but also a jar of honey from FMC, made here in Delaware. You're also welcome to take home the centerpieces, which, as you've noticed, are not lilies. That's wheat grown here in Delaware by FMC. Get home safely. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in about 9 months. Thank you.